There are only a select few maps within the Zombies discography that I truly dislike, and today I thought, why not play one of those maps? But instead of playing it normally or doing a simple challenge, why don't I just brutally degrade my own mental health alongside it? As you can tell from the title of this video, we are playing Verruckt, specifically the Chronicles version on Black Ops 3. No way in hell will you ever get me playing the World at War edition. I may be an idiot at times, but I'm not that dumb. And yes, we are also only using pistols, which basically just contradicts exactly what I just said. So, yeah. I also decided that today I'm not just going to use normal Black Ops 3 pistols. One, because to be honest, they're all ass. And two, there's no pack-a-punch on this map and there's no chance I'm suffering through that. So the plan is simple. I'm going to be using 5 different weapon mods today, and they are MW 2019, World War II, Advanced Warfare, MW3, and finally Ghosts. I tried picking the games that honestly were just a bit different, you know, adding a little range to this game for once. Now there are also going to be some extra rules just to spice things up a little. All of these mods remove the perk limit, but all of these mods also add special drops. These special drops have to be active as they are the only way I can get myself Pack-a-Punch, which I will 100% be needing. Those drops also include free perks, so instead of just being able to buy all of the perks whenever, which would make things too easy, or limiting myself to X amount of perks, because I will more than likely end up accidentally taking one of those free perks. So I'm just going to do this. I will be allowed to buy 2 perks. Those perks can be whatever I want and can also be from whatever source. Any other perks that I want will have to come from the drops. Not the craziest rules in the world, but you know, as I said, just adding a little spice to the mix. We also will only be doing 1 attempt of each run, so if I screw one up on like round 6, that's it, we move on to the next. I started off with the mod I knew I'd be most comfortable with, the MW 2019 weapons. Now I'm not gonna lie, there was only one weapon that I wanted here, and that was the Desert Eagle. I mean, it is literally one of the best guns in the mod. Plus, it's just kind of sick. Isn't it, really? Annoyingly, however, the Desert Eagle is only available in the box, as well as literally all of the other pistols in this mod, except one, being the M19. It's not the best pistol in the world, but, you know, it'd have to do. First few rounds, I get to gather as many points as possible, but on round 3, I got my first perk drop, which ended up being Snail's Pace, which as first perks go, and a free one at that, it's not too bad. The following round, I headed off to the box in hopes of getting lucky, which was of course a mistake, as it spits me out a shotgun. In fact, over the next couple of rounds, the box continued to give me guns that I would usually have to do unspeakable things for, but this time that wasn't the case, and I had to let them all go, which just kind of hurt my soul. All because I needed goddamn pistols. However, things went all bad, because the M19 was actually incredible and very capable of popping heads with ease all the way up to round 8, where it then did a complete 180 on its own damage. And this was where I then decided that my first perk purchase was going to be Double Tap. And at the beginning of the next round, I bought my second and final perk, being Quick Revive. I mean, this is Verruckt after all, and I don't exactly have that much faith in myself. Round 9 also saw my second free perk drop, being Vigor Rush, which straight up just made the M19 the most powerful gun I think I've ever used in zombies. Like, I'm not kidding. I was one-tapping zombies in the head all the way up to round 13, and it probably could have gone for a lot more rounds as well. But things for me only get better from this point as I get myself a Pack-a-Punch drop. Still no other free perks though, meaning still no Jug, which was beginning to cause a little bit of panic. But that panic was soon thwarted. Saying that just makes me sound like I was born in 1862, Jesus Christ. Anyway, at the beginning of round 15, I finally, after about 40 spins of the box, got my second pistol of the game, and it was the one and only Desert Eagle, and oh boy, this thing was good. Even without Pack-a-Punch, the Deagle was cruising through these zombies. I didn't even need to headshot them, it was just blitzing everything like they were nothing. However, it wasn't long until I actually did get it Pack-a-Punched, and I now felt unstoppable. Until I looked down and realized it was round 20 on Verruckt and I still didn't have Jug. But at least I now had Stamina up, which is kind of a bonus, I guess. Things were starting to get pretty tough, and as someone who isn't that great at this map, I was thinking game over would be approaching, but then I had a brilliantly dumb idea. Derice has the catwalk, and well, Verruckt has this little kitchen thing, so I did what anyone would do and made myself at home and got to blasting zombies. This strat was working pretty damn well too. It started off with me getting PhD, which was kind of useless, but that meant I was one step closer to some good perks. Both of my guns were also tearing through the zombies, and before I knew it, it was round 25, where I got myself another free perk, only for it to be Mule Kick. So, thanks game. But the fun wasn't going to last. The M19 was my main gun thanks to the war buy and the lack of max ammo drops, but once I got past round 25 it started to show its weakness. The damage was rapidly declining, and before long I took my first down on round 26, and this would be the beginning of my downfall. The most annoying part of taking the down was losing all of my perks that I had spent a whole 26 rounds grinding out, and also meaning only 2 could make a return, and the 2 I chose were double tap and quick revive, both of which proved to be quite frankly useless, as only the next round I'd take another down. But I got my perks back and went again. Thanks to a couple of nice drops, I ended up making it through a couple more rounds, and on round 29 I got another free perk, only for it to be PhD, and only for me to lose it about 20 seconds later. That down also meant no more quick revive, probably the most daunting thing you could ever say to me on this map. I reclaimed my double tap and also got widows, but it didn't really matter as I was dead only a matter of seconds later. Now round 13 isn't awful, to be honest. I haven't got a clue what to gauge that on, as I'm kind of winging this whole video if it wasn't obvious. Now, when I say it's all downhill from here, I mean it's Humpty Dumpty falling off a wall downhill. Next up was World War II. This started off so well too. I spawned in with the 1911, that was honestly awful, but there was a Walter P38 on the wall which turned out to be very good. I must also say that I have no idea what pistols are even in this game, and honestly I was a lost cause from round 3 onwards. Luckily the Walter was a king and carried me through the early rounds. I got myself Mule Kick from my first free perk drop on round 5, and from there I went and used up my 2 perk purchases and got double tap and quick revive. Not much happened between round 6 and 9 other than me getting shafted by the box, but my luck began to change on round 9 when I got my first pack-a-punch of the game. I opted to get the Walter upgraded as I didn't know if the 1911 would be Mustang and Sally, but I did know if it were, I'd definitely be putting myself in an early grave. With my gun upgraded and a free weapon slot available, I kept on working towards that third gun, and finally on round 13 I got myself the ray gun, which does class as a pistol by the way, but I wouldn't be using it for too long, or at all for that matter, as on that very same round I got myself another pack-a-punch, and this time I did give it to the 1911, and it did give me Mustang and Sally, and I did in fact proceed to blow myself up with it and subsequently get myself killed. And this act began a series of events that I would formally like to call the reason why I fucking hate dual wield guns. Up next was Advanced Warfare, and this was also the one I was most looking forward to, and also the one that hurt me the most. This run started off the same as the others, just this time I was on the other side, meaning I could get quick revive a little earlier this time around. My starting room pistol was the MP443, so I bought it and moved my way through the map. Round 4 and I get my first pack-a-punch of the game, and because I don't learn from my mistakes, I got the 1911 upgraded, and lo and behold I had another Mustang and Sally death trap in my hands. But this was actually when my genius took over. You see, because I had come the way of speed cola and not double tap, I had access to a pretty great camping spot right at the door to power. All I had to do was stand in the doorway, and then I had the easiest job in the world when it came to blasting zombies, as they could only come at me from 2 directions. 2 directions I was already facing, and with my newly upgraded Mustang and Sally, taking down the zombies was now a breeze. Well, that was until my stupidity took over. On round 6, I completely forgot about the fact that I'd bought quick revive, and I was in a kind of autopilot mode and ended up just buying speed cola, only to then remember I could only buy 2 perks. Because my plan would have been to buy speed and then walk the entire way around the map and get double tap, until I realised my mistake. One fortunate thing that came out of this round, however, was PhD, so at least the fear of blowing myself up was no longer a worry. From here on, I did literally nothing other than stand in a doorway and shoot things until round 13. I mean, round 13, I did that too, but I got double tap from a drop. I just wanted to include that so no one thinks I cheated. But the real important round was the one that followed, round 14. And you may ask, why is it important, Satch? Well, it's important because I died. A zombie comes running up the stairs and my dual-wield gun just seemingly can't get to grips on how to hit him in the head, and the zombie proceeds to walk right up to me and beat me into the ground. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was after reviving, I was completely out of ammo in both of my guns, but then a maxi drops that is just centimeters out of reach, but I get swarmed by zombies and die horribly miserable death on round 14. You may now be sat, or stood, or honestly however you're placed, and thinking, well, surely that's that. No more slip-ups, no more failures, smooth sailing for the remaining 2 runs. And I wouldn't blame you for thinking that, because that's exactly what I thought. And well, I thought wrong. This next attempt didn't go as poorly as the previous 2, but it also didn't get better than the first. This time around we had MW3 guns, and this one was a little different as for the first time I had access to machine pistols such as the Scorpion, which just so happened to be the spawned Warby, but also the G18, which was mainly what I wanted. This run started off with some nice luck, as on round 3 I got myself stamina up from a drop, and a small part of me thought that maybe the tides had turned. I headed up to power and got it turned on, and then also hit the box, and on my very first attempt out popped the ray gun. And at this point I was fully on board with the fact that this was about to be the best run of my life. And how wrong could I be? Round 5 I purchased stamina with double tap, and I then on round 7 took a pretty big risk and bought Jug. And calling that a risk feels so wrong, but it was. With the last kill on round 7 I got myself a pack-a-punch drop, and from here I basically just got to blasting zombies. I kept spinning the box and kept getting absolutely nothing, and in turn I kept moving through the rounds. And before I knew it, it was round 15 and I had hardly even moved. And to be honest, I didn't really need to, as the Scorpion just tore down any and all zombies that got even remotely close. At the end of the next round, I got my second free perk, only for it to be Deadshot. Would be great if this was Cold War, but not quite here. The disappointment was only met with more disappointment, as the very next round, right after getting the deagle from the box, I died. But I didn't just die in any old manner. Oh no, that would be too simple. You see, this mod had teleporting zombies, and one of these little douchebags teleported directly behind me as I ran myself into a corner, basically forming a zombie sandwich with me in the middle. And to say I was flabbergasted is the least of it, and because I didn't have quick revive, it was insta-death and we were on to the last chance to at least try to redeem this video. Call of Duty Ghost Guns were up next, saving the most underrated for last, saving our best attempt yet for the very end. And this run starts in the best possible way. Round 2, a pack-a-punch drops, and we get our starter pistol upgraded. Everything is great. I then blew myself up immediately because it gave me Mustang and Sally, and I completely forgot about that gun even existing. I don't even know what to say at this point, but that is the perfect way to end a Satch video. So thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.